Imagine standing in the roaring heart of ancient Rome, surrounded by thousands of voices echoing across a massive stone arena. The ground trembles with anticipation as gladiators prepare to fight for their lives. Now picture archaeologists uncovering weapons from that brutal world, perfectly preserved after 2,000 years. These artifacts are not just relics of combat. They are time capsules that tell us the raw and unfiltered story of Rome's blood-soaked entertainment. The discovery of these gladiator weapons is rewriting how we understand the Empire's most infamous warriors. For centuries, gladiators have been remembered as both heroes and slaves, fighters who entertained crowds in arenas across the Empire. But much of what we know about them has been filtered through legends, biased accounts, and Hollywood exaggerations. The recent uncovering of swords, helmets, shields, and armor finally gives us direct evidence of what life and death in the Colosseum really looked like. These finds bridge the gap between myth and reality. The world of gladiators. Gladiators were more than just fighters. They were symbols of power, discipline, and control. Many were enslaved captives of war or criminals condemned to fight, while others volunteered for the chance at glory. Their battles took place in arenas across the Roman Empire, the most famous being the Colosseum in Rome, which could hold up to 50,000 screaming spectators. For the crowd, it was not just sport, it was politics, culture, and a display of Roman dominance. For the gladiators, every fight was a test of survival. Weapons that told their own stories. The weapons uncovered in Rome include short swords known as gladi, curved daggers, tridents, heavy helmets, and massive rectangular shields. Each weapon was tied to a specific gladiator class. A retiarius carried a trident and net, moving quickly to entangle opponents. A myrmillo fought with heavy armor and a large shield, relying on brute strength. A thraex wielded a curved sword called a sica, designed to slip behind shields and pierce armor. These discoveries confirm that gladiator combat was not random violence. It was carefully staged with different styles and strategies meant to thrill the audience. The brutality and the spectacle. Gladiator fights were bloody, but they were also theatrical. The armor was often decorated with intricate designs, helmets shaped like fish or animals, shields painted with vibrant colors. This was combat as performance. When archaeologists examined dents and cuts in the recovered weapons, they found evidence of repeated use, showing that gladiators trained constantly in schools called ludi. For the audience, each match was entertainment, but for the fighters it was a cycle of pain, discipline, and sometimes rare glory. What these discoveries mean for history. The newly uncovered artifacts challenge long-standing assumptions. For example, the helmets were heavier than previously thought, meaning gladiators likely fought shorter matches to avoid exhaustion. Swords were often deliberately blunted, suggesting not every fight ended in death, despite the popular image of constant slaughter. These details show that gladiator combat was a mix of real danger and staged drama, a balance between sport and survival designed to keep the Empire's citizens entertained without wasting too many valuable fighters. The emotional legacy, blood, and memory. The weapons left behind are more than tools of violence, they are voices from the past. Each scarred helmet and chipped blade carry the memory of men who stood in the arena, facing death under the eyes of thousands. They remind us of the contradictions of Rome, a civilization capable of breathtaking achievements and shocking cruelty. The gladiators were victims of a brutal system, yet they became icons of courage and resilience, their stories echoing through history. The unearthed weapons show us the truth. Gladiators were not faceless fighters. They were individuals with skill, spirit, and dreams. Their battles symbolized the raw strength of Rome, but also the fragility of human life caught in the machine of empire. Rome's Colosseum still stands today as a silent witness to those battles. And now, with every uncovered weapon, the ghosts of the arena return to life. Not as myths, but as men. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of gladiators and the weapons they carried. If this glimpse into Rome's most brutal stage fascinated you, subscribe to Globe Past Hub for more stories that uncover the raw truths of history. And tell us in the comments, if you lived in Rome, Would you cheer in the stands or stand in the sand?